All right, let's welcome in the Powerhouse panel for the first time on this Friday morning. Ladies, we'll see you in just a moment. We start with the former state GOP chairwoman from the state of Nevada and Republican strategist, Amy Tarkanian, who is, Amy, where are you this morning? Whole new background.
Yeah, I'm sorry. It's kind of, I don't know, not so glamorous, but I am in Florida, so I'm in a business center. Otherwise, if I was out in the hotel lobby, there'd be all kinds of action going on and some crazy music playing in the background.
Maybe relocate to the hotel lobby for the later hours of the show. I'd like to see that. I could totally tell you're in one of those, like the doors closed, people are walking by and looking through the glass window, like, what is she doing? Is she on TV? Political analyst Mark Halperin is with us this morning with a tie on. The same tie I'm wearing, actually. They look very similar. Mark, good morning. Good to see you again. And National Advisory Board member for Project 21, Christopher Arps, is joining us from St. Louis this morning. Chris, good to see you again. Good morning.
Good seeing you.
Mark, by the way, I saw you on TV yesterday. You looked really tan. Really tan. Have you been beaching it a little bit?
No, it's all just the filter that I use on this lens. I'm actually white as Casper the Ghost.
Mark, you have to use different makeups in the summer. You know, you get a little more tan in the summertime. You got to use a different tone, a different shade when you're applying the makeup.
Let's do a whole segment on that in August, Rob.
Yeah, we'll do that. We'll do that coming up. It's already August 6th, by the way, Mark. Whew, where does the time go? All right, so we've got our first approval rating for Joe Biden from Quinnipiac. They do this every 6 months with every president. They did it with President Trump. Joe Biden's approval rating is down to the lowest number it's been. This is his overall approval rating, according to Quinnipiac University, 46%. Mark, we'll start with you on this first. Down from where it was, 5 points from where it was in June. What do you make of this number? 46%, not a good look. It seems like the honeymoon is certainly over.
Well, let's see if that's his floor. President Trump had a floor for his support that was relatively high under the circumstances, given all the adversity and controversy that he faced. I think if you're the Biden folks, you look at that number and you say, given the pandemic, given inflation, given crime, given immigration, given all the trouble, maybe 46 ain't so bad. On the other hand, again, the trajectory, the direction's not good for him. And we have to see, is 46 his floor or might he go lower?
Amy, were you surprised by this number when this came out? And at Quinnipiac, they tend to be, I mean, you trust polls, take polls for what they, for whatever you want. I don't know if I really trust this polling, but this number from Quinnipiac, pretty low for the president.
I only trust my Twitter polls that I put out there.
Those are more accurate.
You're right. I think that the majority of the polling usually is skewed, and it's usually skewed to the left. So I do think that it's troubling for him that it is at 46%, because I actually think it's probably lower. I do have Democratic friends, and maybe they're more moderate, but they are very concerned with the way that this administration is handling a number of issues. So I think now people are starting to have a little bit of buyer's remorse. I know that they're maybe looking at to see who's going to be coming in possibly for 2024. Right. I don't think that there's a lot of hope that Kamala Harris would be the person to save the left. So there is a lot of concern going on.
Who is going to save the left, Chris? Could it be St. Louis Congressman Cori Bush, who's been sleeping on the steps of the Capitol the last several days? Let's listen from the Congresswoman. She was talking about why she thinks it's appropriate to defund the police, even though she's been paying up to $70,000 over the last several months for private security. Take a listen.
I'm going to make sure I have security because I know I have had attempts on my life and I have too much work to do. There are too many people that need help right now for me to allow that. So if I end up spending $200,000, if I spend $10 more on it, you know what? I get to be here to do the work. So suck it up, and defunding the police has to happen. We need to defund the police and put that money into social safety nets.
Wow, and she's a star of the left right now. She's further left than AOC. Interesting, and Chris, I know you're in St. Louis County. She called for defunding the police just days after David Dorn, the retired police officer, was shot and killed. The city of St. Louis County defunded the police by $4 million. The homicide rate in your city right now is higher than it's been in the last 52 years. Is she popular there? What's the story with her locally?
It's just amazing to me that she would call for defunding the police, and especially in that clip say that people need to suck it up. I mean, we have problems here in St. Louis where people are calling 911 and are being put on hold. We have reports that came out that said St. Louis is the fourth deadliest city in this country. She's out of touch. There are a lot of Democrats here that are saying that they're going to challenge her next year. They're going to primary her. She will not have a easy election. We're embarrassed by her, and this whole thing of sleeping on the Capitol steps for this eviction moratorium. People did get behind on their rent during the pandemic, and we understand that. But what people don't understand that what Cori Bush is calling for is the total elimination of back rent and back mortgage payments.
Mark, is she saying that her life is more important than yours or than her constituents?
Not really sure what she's saying.
It sounds like it, doesn't it? It sounds like she's saying that. Yeah. It sounds like keep me in Washington so I can defund the. I need protection. Keep me in Washington so I can defund the police to make sure you're not protected.
I think that's a literal reading of what she said. And while I don't like to turn everything into a story about the media, the absence of coverage of that clip in most of the dominant media, I think, is really telling. This should be discussed. It should be debated. It should be clarified. But a lot of people on the left, including the media, just want to sweep that clip under the rug. I guarantee you it will be front and center by the Republican House candidates in 2022.
Totally agree. There's your political advertising right there, Amy. Let's hear one more. We've got one more cut from Cori Bush speaking on CBS this morning. Take a listen.
They would rather I die? You would rather me die? Is that what you want to see? You want to see me die? Because that could be the alternative. So either I spent $70,000 on private security over the last few months, and I'm here standing now and able to speak, able to help save 11 million people from being evicted, or I could possibly have a death attempt on my life.
And by the way, Amy, we're not saying I'm all for her having private security. It should be noted that that's the people that donate to her campaign. That's how she's paying for this. I'm all for that. But what do you make of those comments?
Well, I agree with you. Nobody wishes her any type of danger whatsoever. I mean, my family is pretty high profile. We have been in some pretty interesting situations that are scary. But what I'm hearing coming out of her mouth is very self-absorbed. It sounds more like a me, I. I can fix everything. I deserve this. You just need to, you peasants just need to sit this out while I take care of me first, because I'm the one who's going to save you and fix everything. That's the attitude I think that she's projecting, unfortunately. And she's somebody who clearly is enjoying this attention.
And the two anchors there, Anne-Marie Green and Vlad Dutier, there was no pushback. She said that, and they moved on to the next question. That's why I always think, Mark, you and I talk about this all the time, a quick analysis. You've got to be an active listener during interviews and during panels.
Rob, I don't mean to diminish those two excellent journalists, but did you really know their names in advance, or did you look that up? How'd you know who those two people were?
Wait, what'd you say, Mark?
You just said the name of the two CBS.
Mark, that was a joke. I was pretending I wasn't listening to you. No, I used to work at a CBS affiliate, so I know I know the extended CBS This Morning family.
Got it.
I do want to talk about that eviction ban.
It is important to listen.
It's very what? Yes, no, it is.
Yeah. Okay.
Sorry.
Yeah. Got it.
All right. I do want to get into that eviction moratorium, by the way. The pandemic's been going on now for 17 months. Quick final thought, Chris. How long can the government continue to pay people's rent and bail these people out? And I'm not talking about, a massive commercial real estate firm that owns 10,000 units in one city and 20,000 in another. I'm talking about somebody who worked hard, might have 2 units in a small building and hasn't been paid rent in almost 2 years now.
Well, the Biden administration has admitted that this extending this moratorium is illegal, but it's really just a delay tactic to get the $450 billion for rental assistance out to the people. It's just amazing to me that we have allocated this money, $450 billion, and it's still not out to the people, but these are the people that want to run our health care.
Yeah, it's a good point. By the way, the jobs numbers for the month of July will come out this morning, usually around 8:30. We'll bring you those. Be interesting to see how the economy is doing. And I want to get into this in a little bit, but I think the economy has recovered. The GDP right now, as of right now, is larger than it was in February 2020, just before the pandemic started. And the S&P 500 set another record on Tuesday. So it seems like the economy has recovered. Why aren't people back to work and paying rent again? All right,
Happy
panel.
days are here again.
Say that again, Mark.
happy days are here again.
That's Mark. Exactly. You see? Exactly. I'm with you. All right, panel. Let's pick this up in a little bit.